Hi, this is David Fine with Keys Moths. We're going to have a fun episode today because we're down here in the Florida Keys looking for bugs. Not these kind of bugs. You know, I would love to look for some lobster, but obviously it's not lobster season. So we're going to go look for moths. It's Outdoor Fest, and we're heading down to Big Pine Key. We got a public presentation that we're going to do tonight, and we're going to put some lights out and see what comes. I think you're going to enjoy this episode. Stay tuned. We are at the visitor center of the Key Deer Refuge on Big Pine Key, and it's Outdoor Fest, the third annual Outdoor Fest, and we're kicking it off with Keys Moths moth presentation. We've got 55 people that have come to the visitor center to hear a slideshow presentation on moths of the Florida Keys. Let's see how that went.
Okay, guys, we're going to get started here. This is our first event here at the Lower Florida Keys Outdoor Festival. David Fine's done some amazing things for the Florida Keys National Wildlife Refuges and for science in general. He's what you might call a citizen scientist, and he has kind of studied a creature that often goes overlooked. A creature, thousands of different creatures that often go overlooked that are an important part of the ecosystem. So I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his project, but it's amazing. And we are very grateful and enthused that he's here and just ready to kick off the Lower Keys portion of the third annual Outdoor Festival. So we have, awesome. I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thanks for our volunteers who helped make this event happen too. And go ahead.
All right, Christy, thank you so much. Hey, I just wanted to say that Christy and the Fish and Wildlife people down here have just been so hospitable, and I'm just very, very pleased and blessed to have them as friends and co-laborers as we look to better understand our ecosystem and our natural environment. So my name is David Fine. I've been studying butterflies and moths since I was 8 years old. We have any 8-year-olds in the room? We got an 8-year-old here. All right, so I was about their age. Just a few, yeah, a couple years ago. I just turned 40 this year, so for 32 years I've been after butterflies and moths and just looking at, and I've lived in South Florida that entire time. So not quite a Floridian. I was born in New Jersey. Don't hate, but but I moved down here when I was a year old. My parents did, and we lived here ever since. And so, welcome to Keys Moths presentation. We're going to. The idea behind today is I'd like to just share a little bit about myself, about my family, the project, and kind of what we're hoping to accomplish. And we're using some technology to help us educate. And I think that's going to be a neat thing. This is my support group. My wife here, Noemi, we've been married for 12 years. She was born and raised in El Salvador, where there are a lot more moths than there are here. And she grew up with no interest in butterflies and moths whatsoever. In fact, when I went to go see her and her family out in the hills of El Salvador, I put one of these lights out, and this bed sheet was just draped with insects, and they couldn't believe it. Like, there's butterflies all over the place, landing in the mud, landing in the flowers, morphos flying by, and it was just a week of her family help watching me run around, looking with my camera and a net and all this, just trying to get a better, closer look at these creatures. I had family members of hers come to me and says, I've lived here all my life. I've never seen a butterfly. And it's not because they're not there. It's just because they're never taught that they're important. And so just the fact that there's somebody that's interested in this little tiny brown and white thing that's on a flower here, that has never been something that was important to them. So just a week spending that time with her family, I get every now and then a message from them saying, oh, I found a blue one, or I found this. And so it's amazing how just opening people's eyes to what's right in front of us has truly helped that people in the hills of El Salvador become more acquainted with the natural environment that lives in their backyard. And so that's the hope today. So we've been married for 12 years. We got married on January 1st. I didn't want to make sure we didn't forget my anniversary. So every January 1st, we celebrate New Year's and our anniversary. This is Sophia. She's now 10 years old. And Lorenzo, he just turned 8. So they've been very much supporting me this whole time. Sophie had a little bit of a cold, and my wife had to work, or they would have been here with us today. So from 2003 to 2009, we surveyed Key Largo. And at that point in time, we decided that there was a publication that came out by the Division of Forestry that kind of, it's entitled The Rare, Endangered, Imperiled Butterflies and Moths of the Eastern United States Forests. And there's a paragraph in there would go over each of the habitats of each of these, each of the habitats of the Eastern United States. And when it got to the pine rocklands of the Lower Keys, there's a paragraph that caught my attention because it showed the Bartram's hairstreak and it showed the leafwing. Hey guys, come on up here. There's some seats right over here. Come on over. There was a paragraph that caught my attention because it said that there's never been a comprehensive survey conducted on the moths of the Lower Keys. And I was like, wow, we gotta get down there. So, no, come on over, it's fine. We gotta get down there and check it out. And so at that time we came down, I think it was 2010, we came down and we asked if we could extend our research, our project down here. And these folks accepted, and we've been working together ever since. And to date, this slide I actually made in October. This 580 species in the Florida Keys is an old number. We're at 590 now because every time we put lights out, we add species to that number. And so, there's a lot of concern after Hurricane Irma comes through, what can actually survive a storm like that? And we haven't had a whole lot of time since Irma to come down, but I came down in a night in November, and my buddy Jim Trowbridge, who should be joining us soon, he helps me out in the project. He came down February 15th, and between the two of us, we were able to identify 115 species in 2 nights, just by putting lights out like this and just watching what comes to the light. So last night we were in Key Largo. We did the same presentation up there. We found 3 new species to the project, so it's actually 593 now. And that's just great. Every time we put lights out, we're adding species to that number. A brief thing on Hurricane Irma. We are very encouraged by what we're seeing in the moths. So when you got 5-6 feet of storm surge, which covers a good portion of the island, you wonder, a lot of these animals, they have a host plant that's low growing, and it gets covered by ocean water, and then 10 foot waves on the top of that. Who knows how big they were? You wonder, like, what actually survives that? Can the caterpillar survive? Can the chrysalis survive? Can the cocoons, the eggs, whatever? And that's kind of a very neat biological opportunity to see when you got a small island with a very unique habitat, and the closest pine rockland that we have, I believe, in Dade County, which is like 100 miles away. It's not like one habitat gets messed up and then butterflies and moths can just float down the street and repopulate an area. We're talking about 100 miles away over the Gulf of Mexico is a pretty far stretch. So what can survive? What's still here? And like I said, this is a satellite image. It's pretty neat that we have this is on No Name Key, and this is before the hurricane. We got all this green, lush vegetation, and a couple of days after the hurricane, they took a satellite image, and we see how everything is just burnt by the wind, and you guys have seen all that. But so far, in 2 nights, we've identified 115 species of moths from the Lower Keys. So there's 115 species of moths just in 2 nights that we've seen. We're going to put lights out tonight and see what comes. And I'm sure we're going to add to that number. And actually, that's an old number. It's 116 because Ashley sent me the picture of the tussock moth, right? So we got to update that number all the time. Okay? And so over the next year or so, we're very anxious to see, for instance, like the BioBlitz, if we come back in June and we look to see how many species of moths can we identify in the same month, it'll be a good indicator how we doing this year compared to last year. So more to come, more information to come. I just wanted to thank you guys for being here and joining me. It's been a cool day. It's such a neat thing to see all these people. When we go outside, I'm going to ask, is the light still on? Yes. We've also got some fruit out there, some rotting, fermenting fruit, and a lot of times that's the best way to see a black witch. Now, it's windy and it's cooler, which is not the best combo for mothing, so we'll see what we can find. All right? So we can slowly start making our way out to the sheet, and we'll join you guys in a second. That was great. We had 55 people in that one room. We had some Q&A. We had some kids going on. People seemed engaged. It was a lot of fun. But now it's time for the fun part. Let's go outside and see what kind of moths are at the light. It's a little cold. Temperatures are in the lower 60s. It's a little windy, but hey, let's go see what we got. So you guys beat me out here. What do we got? A couple things, right?
There's a nice Io moth.
Oh, there's an Io moth. Yeah. It's a good way to start.
Confused. He's staying on the ground.
That's a good way to start. Okay, yeah. So they are pretty variable.
So it could be the same species?
Yeah, it is the same.
Oh, wow.
Was that one taken?
Key West.
Key West.
Yeah.
Yeah, same species. The Io moth on the mainland.
Dad, I got
Oh.
the
Stock Island, yeah.
I got the gem.
The Io moth on the mainland. Here, show them right off to the camera there. How cool is that?
She's good.
Very good. You got him. Cool. Let's see. Did you see his eye spots on the bottom?
Oh yeah.
Isn't they cool? There he is. Peekaboo. Here, ready? He's ready.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, man. Good
You can
job,
only see him
man.
when he flies.
Nope. No, there he goes.
We have a huge black moth that always comes to our garage.
You have a black moth that comes to your garage?
Yeah.
The black witch, huh? That's a neat one, man. I like
It's
those.
huge. It's like flies everywhere.
Yeah, that is a cool moth. Hurt. Oh, here's the moth that's eating the ficus trees, guys. This is the.
Is it vibrating?
That's the one that's eating the ficus
Look
trees.
at that one.
His wings
Yep.
clear.
This is the one that's crushing our ficus trees?
Oh, she opened his wings last time. His wings opened.
He has like a purple.
Yeah, they have a neat caterpillar.
The moth is interesting looking. He
Yeah.
doesn't look like the average moth character.
He's got a little red or orange collar on his neck.
There we go. There we go.
There's that purple stuff.
You see the blue? See the blue hind wings or blue abdomen?
Yeah. Wow.
All right, we're out here at our BioBlitz event in Big Pine Key, and Miss Christie's here, and we've got these three young gentlemen who have been out here looking for moths with us, and we just wanted to see, what did you guys think of the event? We'll start with you, man. What's your name?
My name is Tony,
Tony?
and I thought we were gonna see not so much, but the one I saw was an iron moth,
Yeah?
and it had like huge two eyes on the end.
Yeah, you saw the big old Io moth, right? He's pretty cool. And so, Tony, how old are you?
It's 8.
You're 8 years old? And what do you think? You think you're going to be a moth guy?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. maybe birds or bugs or fish or something. Yeah, but moths are cool too, aren't they? All right, good. And how about you, man? What's your name?
I'm Jacob. and
Jacob? How old are you?
I'm 13 years old.
13-year-old. Tell me about the project, man.
And-
What do you think?
I thought that there would be like only like 3 moths because of the hurricane, and
Oh,
they
yeah?
would be really like dirty looking, but it would turned out that they're like brand new, and
Uh-huh.
they look like they just were born.
Yeah, they're still popping out and they're still alive. It's impressive,
Yeah.
isn't it? You think if we were out in a hurricane, we'd get blown away. Imagine if you're a little tiny moth that big, right? But
Yeah, you have to hang on for dear life.
they hang on for dear life, but somehow they make it, don't they?
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, buddy. How about you? What's your name?
My name is Vance, and I'm 10 years old.
Vance is 10. All right.
And I remember last year, before the hurricane, we discovered a lot of types of moths.
Oh, you were with us that
Yeah.
last year, right? The Bio Blitz?
Yeah, and
Okay.
this year, I thought we were gonna have like 2 moths because of the hurricane,
Yeah.
and now there's like a lot more.
Yeah. So there's a lot. We're actually doing pretty good tonight. It's a little chilly,
Yeah.
but here we are, and we're still checking out moths, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time and for coming out and spending time and checking out the moths. All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. See you soon. All right, Sophia, you just found there's a scientist, a bug up in Gainesville, that is very jealous of you because you found this noctuid moth. This is Isogona scindens, I believe that's what they call it. This is the only island that we've ever seen it in the United States.
Wow.
And I take that back. We've found a few up in the southern mainland, but it's a very, very, very unusual moth, and you just found it. So congratulations. Go Sophia. That's it. Well, there were some moths at the light, but it was a little cold and a little windy. But Jim Trowbridge made this banana and wine elixir that he painted on some of the trees before our presentation. He says the moths absolutely love it. Let's go see how that did. Oh, look at that. Christy.
Oh,
Nice.
oh, that gives me the willies.
Palmetto bug. And
So-
a different
Well-
locust. This is the one somebody asked what it was. That's Disseverans.
Cool looking,
Locust
actually. It
disseverans.
doesn't look like the ones in my
No,
house.
that's a different one. You guys got
That's
some.
an honest palmetto bug.
We got some different roaches down here.
Oh yeah, what is that called?
That's Mocus disseverans. One of the kids asked had a picture of one.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
How cool.
Holy
Jim,
moly.
I need your recipe, buddy.
It works really good, doesn't it?
Yeah, man, I'm impressed. Mine didn't work nearly as good as yours.
Maybe if you
We're going
spread it
on
out
this.
in the woods here.
We're going on this little walk, and Jim's painted this this mixture. Spodoptera. All right, we got a longhorn beetle.
Wow.
We got a Grotus something.
We saw one of
Look
those
how
yesterday in the
camouflaged they
daylight.
are.
Mobilis, Condica mobilis.
Yeah.
Just on some
Just
fruit,
fermenting stuff.
fermenting stuff.
Yeah.
You got
They
bananas
like the
and apples.
alcohol.
Yeah, they like the alcohol.
They're a bunch of winos.
Wino moths. How cool.
My dad should have had them all.
You got another longhorn down here.
Yeah, that's
You know,
crazy.
the Keys have some really neat longhorn beetles. Now, I'm really not super into them, but I know some guys that really are interested every time I take pictures and send them pictures of the longhorn beetles. So that might be another phase of the project at sometime. That's our little Spodoptera, right? Which species is that? Tilichos?
Pulchella.
Huh?
Pulchella.
Is that Pulchella?
Wow, that's cool.
That is. Oh yeah.
See, they're drunk, so they're not too afraid of us.
Is that it? Seriously? Do they get
Seriously.
like kind of like slow and kind of?
Look at that little body.
Yeah.
You put a drop in that and it's done.
Yeah, that's true.
Chemistry is chemistry.
So were any of these species at the?
No,
At the sheet?
no, we didn't see any of these at the sheet.
Wow.
So that just shows you, like, there's a lot of stuff around that does
Yeah.
not come to the light. So it's.
Probably could have set up here in the woods, unfortunately.
Especially if they've been drinking.
Is there another
Here's a Mocus,
Mocus? Which Mocus is that?
the common one.
Oh yeah. Lepides.
Lattipiece.
Little Mocus.
We need your brain.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, we woke up to temperatures in the upper 50s. It was windy. These are not good conditions for looking for moths. We only found 3 moths at the lights in the morning, but one of them was a bug of interest. We call it a person of interest, a bug of interest, Maruca vitrata. It's a pyralid moth that the USDA has their eye on for some time now. lives throughout the Caribbean and Central and South America, and it's a legume pest. So it eats like soy, peanuts, and it like plants in the legume family, beans and stuff. And the larva can be a pest to those crops. So they've been keeping their eye on it to see if it ever makes its way to the U.S. And here it shows up on Big Pine Key in March of 2018. Needless to say, the USDA was very interested in this specimen. So they actually sent somebody to my house a few days later to pick up the specimen for observation. They sent a whole team down there the very next week to look to see if they could find more specimens or if there was a colony established or whatever. From as far as I know, they didn't find any more. But it was an interesting bug that showed up at our lights. So we were hoping to find some nice butterfly species. We spent some time walking around some of the natural areas down on Big Pine Key, Pine Rocklands, and some of the hammocks, like Cactus Hammock and Long Beach and so on. But it was really cold and windy, so we didn't see a whole lot. I think we did see a Serranus blue, a Cassius blue. I think we saw a Florida dusky-winged skipper and a red admiral. So that was kind of neat, but wasn't a whole lot going on. Wow, we had a great time last night at Outdoor Fest on Big Pine Key. We had over 55 people come and listen to a moth presentation. How cool is that? Kids came out, they had a great time. People were asking questions. I think we learned a lot. It was a little chilly, a little cold, a little windy, so there weren't that many moths, but we did have some fun stuff come to the light and Jim's bait mixture. So that's all the time we got for today. We would love for you to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Check us out there. We have a great website that houses all these images and videos that we're shooting on the butterflies and moths of the Florida Keys. Check that website out. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, like us, and subscribe to this channel. If you subscribe, you're going to get notifications whenever we get a new video that comes out because we're going to bring you more outings like this in paradise that we call South Florida. Until next time, enjoy South Florida. Take care.